Hello and welcome back to Soulstar Radio. I'm Jacquelene Close-Moore and I am joined by a rather tall man. It's our resident Gandalf. Yes. Gandalf. Definitely not a hobbit though. No. This is Dr. Anthony. He's our resident doctor at Soulstar Radio, and we're at Whittlesea Chinese Medicine Clinic, which he is the principal and director of. And sometimes I'm here doing readings as well. Rather love this place. It's got a lovely heater and it's very cold in Melbourne outside. But we're talking about the element of wood today, which of course is spring, which we're not in here in Melbourne, but it is in America.
We're actually going the wrong way.
Or the right way.
Or the right way, yes. No, wood is the element of spring. You know, growth, nurturing, the gallbladder, liver meridian. The colour green is the most common colour. You see it in a patient's face.
It's not easy being green.
It is. Ask Kermit.
Yes.
Or ask Miss Peggy.
Well.
And when you assess a patient to work out what element they are, when a wood person speaks to you, they're very they shout.
Yes.
They're very loud.
Yes, they are.
And they want to be heard.
Oh my God.
And it's their way on the highway, not like a wood element where they'll just penetrate and get in underlying ways.
What do people just erode on you?
They're a bit like rust.
Yes.
No disrespect to water people.
We love you, water people.
We love you, water people. But today it's all about wood.
Wood.
So wood is new, wood is growth, wood is spring, wood is the new season. So it's about almost like rebirthing you. Wood's a beautiful element. It's probably the most common element in the Chinese constitution that we deal with. Wood's the most common. If you ask me to break down the others, I can't remember. But I know wood is it's probably like 60-70% of patients are in the wood. Then I think it's earth. The earth element are the most common. Wood element people are very soulful, very nurturing people, but they are quite loud. Water element people are very loud as well, but the wood seems to shout.
Yes.
They've got quite a shout to them when they speak, and it's their way.
Oh.
Or not.
I also find them rather anxious.
They are, because that's the gallbladder and liver meridian that's invoked.
Gung-ho?
Gung-ho and angry. They get angry very, very easily, often fly off the handle and not know why they do that.
Yes.
That's because they're not controlling their anger. There are beautiful people, the wood people. In fact, all completely different. So, what else would you like to know about the wood? Nature, nurturing, moving forward, optimism, cheating on my notes, are all things. It's like the seed, it's a growth. So you've planted the seed in winter, it's been dormant, and come through spring, it then bursts open and grows. And that's what America's going through at the moment.
Yes.
Is they're coming into their spring.
Regrowth, rebirth, and a whole new way of doing things. Some of which may be positive and some just confusing.
Oh, absolutely, and we get that, yes. But this is about newness.
Yes.
Like I keep saying, it's a rebirth. We don't rebirth. It's a rebirthing. It's a out of hibernation. Hello world, I'm here. It's spring, and I love it.
Indeed. So there needs to be sort of a flexibility with wood, because if it gets too dry, it becomes brittle and snap. But if it's supple, like the branch is supple, then...
So new wood. Wood is very rigid, of course, particularly the harder woods, and patients can be like that themselves. They can be fixed and inflexible in their thinking and their ability to heal themselves because they've got a fixed set. And as practitioners, we unclog that and we open them up and let them go for it. Anger, as I said before, anger is the most common thing with is the emotion around a wood client, and it's the one we have to treat the most, is to control their anger. And of course it's the liver gallbladder meridian. So we needle both those meridians to clear any blockages, remove any PTSD blockage points, and off they go. Happy little wood people.
Indeed.
Like Pinocchio.
And so when we're looking at them and we're sort of looking at, say, a complexion, is it the sort of, I think you said before, the green tinge just above the skin?
Green tinge just above the skin, which sounds weird when you look at a human and go, they're not green. But when you do a workshop of this and the practitioner or the lecturer sections the group up into their elements, it is very distinct.
Yes.
When you know what you're looking for, it actually stands out.
Oh, yeah.
I'm actually a fire element, so I have a redness about me, and the water has like a shine above them. It almost looks like they need a bath.
Yes.
No disrespect to them, but it's like that haze over their face. But the wood ones, they have a green tinge to them. I think earth is yellow. Yeah, yellow.
Yeah,
they have a yellowy tinge to them, which is spleen. So, yeah, very, very interesting element to be is the young old wood.
Yes, rather exciting stuff. What sort of exercises, say meditatively, do you think they could do? Because there tends to be, with the flightiness of that, it's sort of like, can you get them to sit still?
Well, a wood element is not, even though wood is stationary, often a wood element person isn't stationary. So it's like pushing it uphill. They can be difficult to treat in that way. And we have to kind of unblock that by, I like to use kidney 1 or kidney 2. Bit grounding, unblock point, and do 20 on top of the head to push them out of the head, and kidney 1 on the bottom to push them up out. And between the two of them, the flexibility comes back in. Yeah.
Liking that. All right, now we have our first caller. Are you ready?
I'm going for it.
Okay, here we go. He has his pen. I have a magic pen too. We have Melissa in Macedon, New York, USA. Are you there, Melissa? Hello, Melissa.
No.
We can't hear Melissa.
I can't hear Melissa either. Okay, next.
That's okay. So with wood, we're dealing with vision and sight more than the other sort of senses, do you think?
Very much so. Sound is one of the biggest with the wood element. So often they can't hear properly or don't hear what they want to hear.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean?
Which is hilarious because of what just happened.
Correct. So Melissa's a wood element. Yeah. We haven't met the young lady yet.
Loving that. Are you there, Melissa? Still trying. It's interesting because
can you hear me?
There we are.
Hello. Hi.
Welcome to the show for calling in there.
What was that?
Last today?
Yes. I'm having a very hard connection here.
He's having trouble hearing us.
Oh, okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. We can. Did you want to ask a question today, darling? Yes,
I do. My gentleman that I've been seeing for the past almost 7 months. What's going on with our relationship? I mean, does he love me? Does he, he gets in these moods where he can't handle it, and then he's like, okay, well, I just want my stuff back. But then, his actions, like he surprised me at work today. He showed up. He took me out to lunch. I'm like, you had all day to tell me this. Are you just having a bad night or something?
What I really get there with this is it does feel very inconsistent. We sometimes are getting different answers from him, is what you're saying. But what I also got told was he can't handle the truth, or someone's not being able to handle the truth here. In some ways, it's just really important to know that it's not just how someone acts when everything's going well, it's also how someone acts in times of stress or challenge. And so grace under stress is courage, and, I would sort of more look to that as a quality to look in a partner rather than this sort of up and down kind of there 1 minute and not there the next as being kind of important to look for here, rather than, I guess, okay, well, he's here now, I'll take this on face value right now, which is why you're feeling that kind of frustration there. But, yeah, I would sort of look to more the consistent effort, the consistent statements, rather than this on-again, off-again type of behaviour is how I'm sort of wanting to start this off. But, Dr. Anthony, you were sort of getting a lot there.
Oh, I'm just making a few notes.
Yes.
He sounds controlling.
Very.
Very much so. And no commitment.
Yeah.
Is that right, Melissa? Or just picking that up?
Relate to that, Melissa?
What was that?
Can you relate to having commitment?
Yes, because he's been hurt really, really bad. He doesn't believe that, or he doesn't feel that he's deserving of being loved. Okay. And once he gets close to me, he's like he pulls back.
Yeah, it's not your fault. And my caution here, and why I sort of felt concerned as soon as you started talking about he's been...
You want me to get him?
This happened or that happened, is if we're making excuses for him and making excuses for his behaviour, that's what really worries and concerns me here, because some people can use those excuses but not actually address the underlying behaviour, the underlying concern, anxiety, or whatever's really going on here. And some people will use that as a tactic to avoid dealing with you in that moment, and instead patterning the behaviour off the past and their past relationships. So I really want you to look at the actions matching the words, look at his level of interest, consistent, healthy pursuit of you, rather than an on-again, off-again kind of thing here, because otherwise it's really not helpful to your self-esteem, your sense of well-being, and you're instead bending your will too much. So in a way being too flexible for someone who's not being flexible at all.
Okay.
Does that make sense to you?
It's like, yeah, it does. I don't know if I should try to work on the relationship or, because he knows I love him. And I think he does me, even though he says no. And I just, what does the future hold? I mean, this is something that's... Because I truly believe that there's a reason why people are put in each other's paths.
Yeah, definitely, and it's not always the reason we think. Sometimes it's also about the boundary lessons we can learn there. And I guess the most important message I have for you today is to love yourself first, not last. That's what I would really say there. Did you want to add something there?
No, I think you've got it covered.
Yep.
What I see, it's all her and not him.
Yep.
Like she's trying to make it happen and he's not committing.
Yes, it takes two to make a relationship work.
Correct. That's the word I'm probably trying to say.
Yeah. And it's interesting because talking about wood, my husband used to talk about marriage as often when people get married even, what can happen is you say I do and then they kind of are like two pot plants. Love is like two pot plants. And some people just sit at opposite ends of the corner and they don't fertilise and grow and water it, and they're two dead sticks at the end of the day just doing nothing. Mm-hmm. Whereas other couples, they're two pot plants, they stay together, they talk together, they fertilise, they nourish, and the actual branches start growing into each other, mm-hmm. and it becomes the one plant, and it's very harmonious, very fertile, and very loving, and it stays alive. So it's a constant work with the two of you, not the one of you, and it just felt like in that relationship situation, there's only room for one ego in that relationship, but it's certainly not hers.
Yes.
And that's my concern there. So I hope that helps you and gives you a different perspective, Melissa, even though it's definitely not what you wanted to hear. We certainly wish you the very best with it, and we'll send healing, love and light to you after this. If you wish to ask for further clarification afterwards, you can connect to Soulstar Radio with Jacquelene on Facebook, or just go to Soulstar Radio on Google and you'll find us. But that is our message for you. Now, we've also got another caller and a little bit of time left. We've got Christy in Hudson, Florida. Are you there, Christy?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Really good, thank you, darling. Lovely to hear from you and take your call. Was there a question you wanted to ask us today, darling?
Yes, actually. I really don't even know how to. It's kind of embarrassing, but not. But anyway, I'm having problems, I guess, with relationships. Not recently. It's been almost 2 years. My boyfriend broke up with me and left me for somebody else, like, in an instant. And I can't seem to get over it.
I think...
and I want to.
Understandable. What you can do, and this is an exercise for anyone at home listening that's having trouble breaking away from a toxic connection, or just even something you just, all right, this is no longer helpful or healthy for me, I don't need to be part of this, I don't need to contribute to this or be toxic in it as well. So you can sort of look at it both ways. There's an exercise that you can do where, in ritual we often use rhyming because it becomes a circular mantra and it goes around and it builds the energy until it becomes really quite strong. And so a thing that you can say is, I end all cycles, I close all doors between myself and beep, forevermore. So beep is who they are, their name. And you just say that round and round and round. And this is simply to disengage from them. This is not to, ooh, they're evil. Oh, I'm an angel. I'm an angel. Did you know I'm an angel? Because, you know, we're all human. We've got faults. So let's just go, righto, just closing the door here. And what you can do while you're doing that is, if you can imagine yourself, and then there's a perspex, bulletproof wall in front of you, between you and them. And what you can do is send back to them anything of their energy that you've still got, that you're still holding on to, whether it's a resentment, whether it's something you miss about them, send that back through, you know, and you can just imagine a hole opening up in the perspex, and you're sending through anything of theirs that's still attached to you. You're letting it go. Anything of yours that's stuck to that, you just whoop, dropping down on this side of the perspex, go through back to them. So then you close the perspex again, and you own what's yours, and then you do the same thing in reverse, where you bring back anything of yours from their side of the wall, and bring that through. Anything of theirs on their side of the wall, whoop, drops down, stays with them, and the rest comes through to you. You then close that perspex up again, own all that's yours, set them free with love. But then you also say, you keep saying that, you know, I end all cycles, I close all doors between myself and them forevermore. And what we're doing with the hand is we're imagining the hand becoming larger, and it becomes a great big white hand, like, you know, the football and basketball, big, gigantic hands. They can be really big, and you literally are wiping that perspex into white until it's so solid you can't hear them, you can't feel them, and you're sending them away with love, but detachment, and you're detaching from them. And that's a ritual you can do. You could even do that in the bath with some, you know, some rose petals, some cinnamon, and you know, possibly a bit of nutmeg, and if you've got cloves. But I put the roses in for nurturing. I'm using the other ones for letting go and endings, and even a bit of star anise, because that just helps to clear it in a whole different way. It's adding the energy of Jupiter and sort of a sense of prosperity and good luck. But we then, you know, we could do that ritual in the bath. You could do that in the woods, wherever you feel comfortable. But in a bath, in this kind of situation, you would make sure you let the bath water run out before you step out of the bath at the end of it. So just hold on to the sides, really good. But that's just a ritual you can do to let go if other things haven't worked. And any time after that your thoughts of them come up, what you can do is send a quick thought of healing, love and light, and then disconnection each time they come up, because sometimes the other person can be quite nostalgic. Still thinking of you. A minute ago. So off air. So they can still be thinking of you. The thing is not to engage with that. The thing is to go, all right, sending you away with love and light. I'm getting back on my path. Anything you wanted to add to that, Tony?
Just work on yourself. Let go and just move on. It was him, not you. You're taking it too much to heart.
Yeah.
Just let it. I don't know what happened. It's between you and him. You just need to let it go, because it's actually dragging you back.
Yeah. That makes sense for you?
Yes, it does. I mean, I've been trying, and it's just, I mean, I don't ever see. I never see him, so, which is a good thing, and I know that helps. But it's just like, I don't know, nostalgia does get to me sometimes, because I remember things, and it's like, oh my God, I remember when, and I'm like, I can't keep doing this.
Yeah.
Look to the future, not
look to the future, let go of the past. But if you're having trouble letting go of the past, try the ritual out, because that can really help sever any cords that are stuck or reforming. You can sever those and just get back on your path. You can even imagine simply helicopter blades going around the outside of you, clearing away any cords that don't need to be there, and just freeing your energy up. So I hope that helps you and give you some ideas on how to work with that energy.
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Absolutely welcome. Absolutely beautiful call.
No, it was a lovely call, that one. And the poor lady's beating herself up over something that was probably out of control.
Yeah.
Because he was the one that left her.
Yes.
And I get how she would take that, or the partner would take that quite hard. But poor Christy's beating herself up over something that she had no control over. And of course, you do take that personally, and she has. We see this a lot in clinic.
Oh, yeah.
We do this, the Shen, the point here is a de-stressing point right there. Up here, yin tang, liver 3, de-stress the liver, de-stress the gallbladder, just rebalance the body, do 20 top of the head, take them out of the head, and just do some lovely heart nurturing points on Christy because she has taken it bad and it's not her fault.
No.
And she's got to move forward, let it go, stop looking backwards, look forwards and just work with it.
It's often the case with those sorts of situations where there's been some toxicity and, they've tried their heart out and they just can't comprehend, the blowout of all of this.
Exactly.
And there's been usually quite a bit of control during the relationship anyway. And so they're starting to hang on, do I know what I know anymore? And there's all this second guessing and doubting and indecisiveness that can come through. And it's like, I used to have a brain, where did it go? That can be coming up too when you're going through, a breakup where someone's been quite controlling of you. So it's just, working on that, rebuilding your confidence it can't be stated enough.
Exactly right. And of course that will and does impact on a patient's health. For a start, their Shen's disturbed or their mind's disturbed, so it becomes sleep disturbance. And we all know when you don't get a good night's sleep, how crap we feel the next day. Although having said that, I've learned a new trick, that if you don't have a good night's sleep and you repeat to yourself all through the day, I slept crap, you will feel crap all day.
Yep.
So what you do is even if you've had a bad night's sleep, you convince yourself you had the best night's sleep ever and you'll have an amazing day. Now, I've done this the past few weeks because I've got a dog that gets me out in the middle of the night and I'm so tired and I've got to go to clinic and work. I don't say that anymore. I go, I had a great sleep and I'm fantastic. I can be exhausted by the end of the day. But the persona or what you push out to your patients is you're well rested and ready to operate as a practitioner.
It's a bit like I saw a plant that they had an experiment going where one plant was bullied and one plant was loved and told complimentary things. And, of course, the complimented plant went, whoa, yeah. And the bullied plant went,
oh, no.
And it just actually, it actually drooped.
I've seen the same thing done about 30 years ago with music, playing classical music to a plant and then playing death metal to a plant. And, of course, you can imagine what happened to the death metal plant.
Yeah.
Wasn't overly happy.
No.
And the Bach plant, or the plant listening to classical music, did exactly what the unbullied plant did.
Yeah.
And just flourished.
Yeah.
So, it's fascinating.
And we've got a lot of water in us, just like plants do.
Correct.
So it's still that element of, you've seen the Dr. Emoto, experiments on crystalline parts of water, like this on the microscope.
Yeah.
So what you put out there towards yourself and what you're allowing to be put towards you does have that effect.
Correct. Exactly right. And so that's how we have to watch as humans, as practitioners, what we're projecting and what do our patients pick up. So absolutely correct.
Loving that. Well,
very much so.
Rather fantastic having you back on today.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's been fantastic talking. And I was laughing because the wood was not hearing at first.
Yes.
Yes, that's very relevant.
Exactly.
We like that. So what element are we on to next time?
I think we might move into fire, which is the summer element. Red, laughter, joy. And relationships is the biggest one with fire. I'm a fire.
Yes.
So you either have joy, happy fire or sad fire. And again, that's in boys. They laugh a lot.
Beautiful. Loving that.
We hide by laughter. Very good.
Love it. All right. Thank you so much for sharing all of that with us. I look forward to catching up with you next month, which in the US probably will be almost summer.
Will be, very much so.
So we're looking forward to that. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Sorry for the people we couldn't get through to on the phone. Thank you for our 2 callers and also to our lovely producer who's a really fun guy. He should do a Mexican hat dance after this. We'll catch you same bat time, same bat channel next week. In the meantime, if you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, then you really ought to show it. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands.